People will ask us a lot about food mapping and why it's unique. Can you tell me, based on your experience 1 month into this program, how is food mapping with us so different than anything else you've ever done with your food?
I've been allergy tested for all these foods, multiple times because you're testing for different things than you can typically get when you go to the doctor. And I think that for me, your knowledge where you're talking about, oh, this says it's positive, but it's actually fake, or this says it's not positive, but it's actually real. So that for me is invaluable.
I'm Maggie Yu, MD, functional and holistic medicine physician and owner of Transform. And if you haven't joined our Facebook group, go ahead and click the link and check out Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. In our Facebook group, we have tons of videos and interviews and workshops and trainings for you to learn more about how to turn around autoimmune disease naturally. I actually have a really interesting interview today with Kymberly. I literally just grabbed her. She's in the middle of the program right now, not even at the end, for a behind the scenes check-in of somebody in the middle of our program. And Kymberly has Sjogren's with tons of severe symptoms with swelling in her hands, brain fog symptoms, and debilitating fatigue. I would love for you guys to see where she is. She's about 5 weeks into our program, and what she has to say about food could be mind-blowing. All right, everybody, I happened to grab Kymberly, who is in the middle of our program, and she was sharing some major serious wins, and I wanted to show you guys a behind-the-scenes look at what happens to people early in the program and what are some ahas and wins and they have in their journey. So, Kymberly, welcome. Thank you for being so generous and agreeing to this quick impromptu interview. Tell me a little bit about you and what some of the symptoms you came in this program with.
I came into the program with a lot of symptoms, at least, in my mind. I was diagnosed with Sjogren's disease, and I had an extraglandular version, and that isn't a bonus version. That means it, affects a lot of different parts of my body, not just my eyes and my mouth, which is more typical. It affects a lot of my different organs, my digestive system, my brain,
People don't realize
pretty much everything.
Yeah, and people don't realize that a lot of autoimmune diseases, no matter what the diagnosis is, not only do you have one target of autoimmune attack, but if your body's mistaking one part as a germ, what's the likelihood it's going to have multiple or hundreds of other targets of autoimmune attack? It's like 100%. So you may have Sjogren's and everyone thinks joints, but it can affect swallowing. It can affect your gut issues, joint issues, fatigue, mood, a lot of other things.
Yeah, it was affecting my pancreas. My blood sugar was, crazy, all kinds of things.
Let's update people. What week of the program are you in right now?
I just finished week 5.
What was your big aha? What was your big one today that you shared?
I'm a bit of a skeptical person by nature, and I believed this program was going to help, but I definitely was not expecting to have a lot of specifically food issues other than nuts. I was sure I had nut issues. I had absolutely no symptoms of any dairy issues or any gluten issues that I could tell at all. And I cut out gluten at the beginning of the program and shockingly started to feel a lot different almost right away, within the first 2 weeks, probably 2.5 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I got my food mapping back, and shockingly it said that I was extremely positive for dairy issues, pretty much across the board, all dairy. And I stopped dairy and immediately felt really different. And I thought that having food intolerances meant I would have stomach pain or bloating or, gas, or those are the typical things I expected. And for me, it was fatigue, brain fog, pain, swelling in my hands, like all kinds of things that, I was not expecting that at all. And it was like, just like that.
I really want the full gravity of each of these symptoms and what went like that.
So fatigue, obviously autoimmune fatigue is a huge one for most people with autoimmune issues. And for me, I just felt like that was just inherent to having Sjogren's, like this feel like I always say that it feels like you have weights attached to your body. Like that's what it feels like, like it's so much fatigue. Getting up in the morning and feeling like, okay, what should I get done? I'm ready to go. Let's get everybody ready for school. Like I have not felt that way in such a long time. Like I didn't remember that I used to feel that way.
And this is within a couple of days of just removing the learned on the food map.
Like probably 2.5 weeks of gluten. I was 50% there and a few days of dairy, and I felt so different.
Okay, how many years have you dealt with fatigue, girl?
12. 12. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
After I have 3 kids, and after my third one was born, I just did not bounce back. Well, brain fog, which, you don't realize how bad it is until it starts to clear up.
And then
And then
you're
you're
like,
like, oh, wait, I can think about things
right,
clearly.
right.
Yeah. No, I mean, really big difference with brain fog for sure. And again, I thought that was something that was just inherent to my autoimmune disease. And it was, until I went out of a complete flare and complete remission, it wasn't going to get better. I didn't expect it to get better really fast, and it definitely did. I have a lot of joint pain, my shoulders, my elbows, my wrists, I just like both sides. It'll be my joints on both sides. So much better. My swelling, I used to wake up with my hands swollen every day. And my hands are not swollen at all and don't feel swollen in the morning.
Look at
Yeah,
those
like
hands.
crazy. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just I'm sure everything I've been doing in the program has helped me get to this point, but literally just this one component has been huge.
People will ask us a lot about food mapping and why it's unique. Can you tell me, based on your experience 1 month into this program, how is food mapping with us so different than anything else you've ever done with your food?
I've been allergy tested for all these foods, multiple times because I have an allergist, and I go every few years, and they say it's time to retest you for the allergies. And, none of this stuff showed up. Obviously, it's a different type of reaction, and it's just not easy to get this type of testing somewhere, that is going to give you these answers. And I feel like, I love my allergist. I think he's great at lots of things. He's super smart guy, but there's no way he could have given me these answers. And he didn't, any of the times I went to him. So I feel like it's just you're testing for different things than you can typically get when you go to the doctor. And I think that for me, your knowledge where you're talking about, oh, this says it's positive, but it's actually fake, or this says it's not positive, but it's actually real. So that for me is invaluable, because I couldn't order that online, somewhere and have that.
I literally went through hundreds of food sensitivity testing and lots of kissing frogs and lots of, 12 years of experience working with to develop the food mapping process. So the specific test and the accuracy of that test is very important. But most importantly, the experience I've had with the test to know what are false positives and false negatives, and being able to teach it to you guys so you become the experts on this, better than even doctors who run these tests, is the key. And I love teaching it and is troubleshooting it. And even just talking with nuts, you actually have confirmation now that what you knew about nuts is actually real.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge for me, because obviously if you have a real allergy to nuts, you need to know and be careful about it. So it's huge for me to have something definitive to say, I have this, and be more careful about it and be serious about it. The other thing is my kids are, a lot of them are lactose intolerant, it seems like, and they have some food issues. And, I'm going to want to test all of them, right? I'm going to want to do food mapping for all of them, immediately, like, right, today, I absolutely will take what I've learned in this program and apply it to my family for sure.
Having a healthy sense of skepticism. Why did you join the program?
Well, I have a really specific reason. So I found the program because I was looking for an autoimmune support group on Facebook, and I was not looking for any kind of program to join in any capacity. I was just looking for a support group and to the kind of autoimmune disease I had. And I saw one of your videos after I just came across you when I did a search, I think, or maybe somebody mentioned it. And I saw one of your videos, and you were talking specifically about how blood sugar affects autoimmune symptoms. And I had found that exact same thing, because my autoimmune disease, affects my blood sugar, right? Even though I'm not diabetic, and I have a bunch of blood sugar issues because of my autoimmune disease. And the doctor's like, we don't know why you're having all these blood sugar issues. You don't fit any of the criteria for type 2. We don't know why you're having these issues, but, adjust your eating as though you're diabetic. And so I adjusted my eating, and I tried to keep my blood sugar really even.
Yeah.
And my autoimmune symptoms improved a lot, like not just my blood sugar symptoms, but, migraines and all the things, the pain, it didn't go away, but some things definitely improved. And so I went to my doctor and I said, I think, keeping my blood sugar even is affecting my autoimmune disease. And they were like, no, it doesn't work that way. You're just feeling better, because you're eating more regularly or whatever. And so when I saw your video, and you said that was one of the most important factors, is learning how to keep your blood sugar even, I was like, yes, I know that is true.
That woman is
Because
right.
yeah. And so that really spoke to me. I was like, yes, I know from my own experience that that is the case. And nobody else is believing me that that really works. So that is really what drew me to the program, because it was nice to hear that sort of confirmed, because that was my experience for sure.
Well, I love that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge everybody who's watching this training to definitely check out drmaggie.com or our Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. I have a training in there, which is, we call it the 5 pillars training. And, you know, we're walking through the whole wheel of those 5 pillars. So this is a mid-program check-in. I appreciate. So you're saying that you jumped in because the skeptic in you finally had a doctor scientifically affirm what you knew yourself to be true.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly on faith. I was like, yes, I believe that. So
I
I
don't
will do
need
it.
faith. I need proof. I
Yeah.
love to show real people
Yeah.
real results.
Yeah.
So this is why you're a real person and we're sharing
Yeah.
your real results right here in the middle of the program with everybody. So I appreciate your generosity and sharing your behind the curtains of where you are in the middle of the program right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
It's really been helpful.
That was one of our first in the middle program check-in. And for me, it's really incredible that just within a month of her being in the program, her fatigue that sounded like it was 10 out of 10 is now almost gone. Her pain level has really improved, and brain fog. I mean, how many of you, and her being a skeptic, I mean, I think it's great to actually hear from a skeptic, because I think proof is really important. I don't think anybody should take anything on blind faith, especially on the internet right now. I mean, there's a lot of, I would say, fake gurus, fake experts talking about autoimmunity. So I love the fact that this is an interview with a real person right in the middle of our program. And what she was saying is, I love this, is that she knew blood sugar had a lot to do with her autoimmunity, but nobody in her conventional medical world believed her. And when she heard that from me, was a turning point for her to say, hey, this woman's making sense. Well, it helps. I'm an MD and I had autoimmune disease myself, right? But anyway, she really reiterated how important blood sugar is. And now she's talking about the beauty of food mapping. So I love that she really is going in detail about food mapping and how that process immediately within days was able to decrease tons of her symptoms. So if you want to learn more about food mapping, make sure you join our Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. We have a whole bonus module there on food mapping. You can also check out drmaggie.com to watch our 5 pillars training to learn about how we use all 5 pillars of our functional approach to turn around any autoimmune issue or even no diagnosis issue. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the Facebook group.